Please explain what food and land sovereignty is and why you believe it will lead to real liberation.
Sure. So, food and land sovereignty are two terms. I appreciate you asking this question too, because I think it's not something that's common rhetoric amongst our people, and it should be. When we think of land sovereignty, I believe that land is a birthright. This is something that we come into this world and inherently should be ours to steward if we so choose. Unfortunately, systems have been designed and capitalism prevents us from acquiring land as freely as we should be able to. This means with no outer interference from the government, from corporations, from folks that are driven by capitalism and greed, allowing folks to remain on the land, steward the land, and allow them to just be. Where we are at the farm, we are entirely off-grid, so we rely on the city for nothing. We have solar panels that power all of the electricity on our farm. We harvest all of our rainwater. We've designed every structure to have a slanted roof where the gutters catch the water and it's stored in IBC tanks, and we're able to water all of our crops and use that for washing our produce too. We installed a water filtration system, a very basic system. It's a 3-tier filtration system, so we can use that same rainwater purified enough to be able to wash our produce and drink it if we wanted to. These are activations of land sovereignty. When you allow the people to just be, what can come of that? And we've been able to cultivate this oasis of a space that does not rely on the city for anything. So we are actively practicing sovereignty in the way that we exist. Food sovereignty, that also pairs with land sovereignty, specifically in urban farming. So food sovereignty is the idea that we should be growing foods that are culturally relevant and appropriate to the communities that we are serving. When you go to certain supermarkets, they're called a supermarket because they have an array of all of these things available for you. But when we look at the fresh foods, are they culturally relevant to the communities that they're serving? Are they part of a larger food system that has been designed historically not to serve our people?
Before you continue, can you clarify what you mean by culturally relevant foods for the viewers?
Yes, absolutely. So these are foods that are indigenous to your own cultural norms historically. So a lot of the foods that we're growing at the farm are foods that are culturally relevant to the community that we serve. And we see the top one being greens. This is a food that is highly nutritious and highly loved by our community historically. And there's reasons for that. There's more foods that we can be growing that are even more culturally relevant to the African diaspora. And we practice things like seed saving and seed exchanging to continue that cultural relevance across farms. There's one organization, the Black Urban Growers Network. They have an annual conference. And I went last year and we practiced seed saving and seed exchanging. The seeds that we brought were the blue shakamoxin bean seeds. And they're these beautiful, shiny seeds that have been in rotation since the Lene Lenape were stewarding our land in Philadelphia. That bean is a culturally relevant bean to the people of the land who had once been stewarding it before my time and our time there today. So I think one really important thing to highlight when we talk about food sovereignty is the ways that our people have been kept out of conversations historically around food access and what it means to have the culturally relevant food that I speak on. There is more access to what I call dead food, so food that's been highly processed and highly removed from its natural state of being. When we practice food sovereignty, we understand that that is no way to live and no way to sustain a life, and it actually causes much more harm than good to our vessels, our beings, on every plane, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Food sovereignty allows us to reclaim our power through growing our own food and being a part of that process from start to finish. It means we are tilling our own land, taking care of our own land, stewarding our own land that we're growing our food on. And this is why I find land and food sovereignty very much intertwined. Allow us to have our land, let us be in peace, and allow us to grow the foods that we need to elevate us culturally and in community as one.